I hope you have people in your life that make you feel like yourself. I hope you have cats and dogs and animals and donkeys and llamas and alpacas that you can pet and ride into the sunset, baby. And have a great day with.
Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Not jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. With Rudy Tibersi.
What is up, my friends? Thank you for hanging out today. This is Rudy Tibersi coming at you with another episode of Jokes and the Gym with Rudy Tibersi. Thank you for stopping by. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited that you're tuning in, even if just for a moment today, because I think that it's important that we take the time to listen to each other's stories. That's what I think. Surprise, surprise. Comedian who likes hearing other people's stories. I have been largely absent from performing comedy recently. I still do here and there, but I have been going through some real serious challenges lately. And I'm finding that getting up in front of people at the end of the day is not something that my body can really do very well at this time, especially when those people may or may not be there to actually hear, to listen, to appreciate what other people have to say. And largely that is the community that is created in comedy. And if you like trying that hard to communicate all the time, then comedy is awesome. But it's kind of interesting. People who love comedy are not necessarily always the best at communicating, myself included. It's a lifelong process. And so it's something that I'm trying to work on, knowing the hows, the whens, and the whom's, and the where's to share my story. That's one of the reasons I haven't shared it on the podcast, because I know a lot of the people here who listen, but I don't know everybody. And I need to feel safe. I need to feel safe in order to share what I'm going through with people. And that's not always the case. That's not always what's going on. Oh, I gotta let the girl out. The kitty needs to go out. I get it, girl. You want to go out? Scratch, 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 scratch. Here you go, Bubba. Is this gonna fall? Is it all gonna fall? It'll all fall sometime. There you go, my love. And my cats make me feel safe. Surprise, surprise. Did you know that? Do your cats make you feel safe? There is something about spending time with our animals, with other creatures that don't even have words, that puts my central nervous system at ease. Those cats don't fuck with everybody, but they fuck with me. And they and me, we feel good around each other. We feel comfortable around each other. There's how special it is when you're out on a walk and a neighborhood cat approaches you? Oh my gosh. What a freaking compliment from that animal. It feels like Aslan has chosen you. You know what I mean? Like, that is amazing. It feels so good. And so those are the things I have been trying to focus on, is how can I give my central nervous system a rest? How can I allow my body and my mind to feel at ease? My body, my mind. How can I do that? And I'm so lucky that my day-to-day has people in my life that I feel like I can. I've been getting better at sharing my story recently, but I've also found out that I don't really have all the skills needed to do that. And so I'm taking my time with it. And I've always been a person who talks about his everyday life on stage. And I love doing that. I love the honesty and authenticity that you can bring to stand-up comedy. It's one of my favorite aspects of it. You got a joke, you got an idea, you went through something that day, go tell a freaking joke about it, because wee. When you're able to friggin' put that amalgamation of pain and weirdness and joviality and fun together on stage and people get it, that's huge. But if you're actually going through something at that time, and you try to do it on stage and it doesn't land, it doesn't work, people aren't there, they're not listening, then that feels like shit. Like, it feels bad. I've also found over the years that people don't want to hear you telling jokes about stuff you're in the process of figuring out. Like, if it's a little thing and whatever, it's just a joke you're trying to work on. Yes, we have to do that. That's part of the process. But if you're going through some real ass shit and you're trying to tell jokes about it, you might want to reconsider how and where and to whom you tell those jokes. And I felt really good this weekend because I was scheduled to be on a show, but it wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right time for me to do it. I was going to share some really personal stuff, and it was the first time I'd be telling jokes about these things. And I requested early to go up at an earlier time in the show so people wouldn't be as antsy and all that kind of stuff. But as the show got closer, I kept getting bumped and moved and pushed around to different spots in the show, and that's normal. That's a normal part of being a comedian. But at this time, that's not what works for me. I need a little more stability. I need a little more certainty, and I need to feel a little more welcome. Like I've said before, I'm kind of like a vampire. I need to be invited in. And it's been a lot to make that adjustment and to stand up for myself and to set some boundaries. But you can set boundaries in a respectful way. You don't have to be a jerk about it. You don't have to be an ass about it. You can just say, this is what I need. And if you're unable to provide that, that's okay. But I just can't do it at this time. So, and that's where I was this weekend. And oh man, I love a good boundary. Boundaries are fucking hot, man. Ooh, I love a boundary. If someone tells you something clearly and that helps me know what to do or not to do with that person, it's a beautiful thing. I've always thought that we teach people how to treat us. We teach others how to treat ourselves. And if you're unable to do that, then you're going to kind of be stuck living in this space that's not very fun or welcoming or doesn't feel authentic to who you are. Because if you're constantly bending your wills to other people, that doesn't leave much room for authenticity. I feel like that doesn't make you feel like an authentic life, at least for me. And especially with somebody who deals with energy challenges as much as I do and has used so much energy trying to appease others and help others and please others and placate others. When I finally take the time to step into my own assertive voice in a way that I believe to be respectful, it's not always appreciated. It's not always met with kindness. And so I'm looking for those ways to increase the safety in my life and increase or decrease the stress it puts on my central nervous system. And so I do that both with jokes and the gym. I'm not stressing myself out as much at the gym. I'm not going as heavy as much at the gym. I'm not going as hard at this comedy thing because it does take a toll on your central nervous system. And if you're built for that, I'm built different. I'm built for that. You know that crap? Like, great. If you're built different, that's awesome. Some people I know are freaking tanks and they can drink and party and work out and do comedy and go to work and hold a full-time job and fucking be themselves through it all. I love that. If you can do that, hell freaking yeah. Good for you. If you can do all those things, if you can fit all that stuff into your life and still feel like a human being at the end of the day, good on you. Brother, mother, sister, father, cuz. You know what I mean? That's huge. That's a huge thing to be able to do. But unfortunately, I'm not always there. Have you ever heard of the spoon theory? Spoon theory is just something that people who have chronic disorders that have energy challenges and or pain that they're dealing with on a regular basis that they use to describe how they're feeling. Essentially, it's something along the lines of you only have so many spoons to give in each day. And maybe let's say you've got 10 spoons in a day. Every activity takes a certain number of spoons. Work takes 4 spoons. Woof. Comedy takes 3 spoons. Woof. Working out takes 3 spoons. Woof. And if you do all 3 of those things in a day, that's all your spoons. That's all the spoons. And you know what that doesn't leave any time for? Anything else. And I've always kind of felt that. And now, as I'm learning about myself, I'm learning that that's okay. And that's the case. And I have to adjust accordingly. And thankfully, I have been around people who have been more open to that, who have been welcoming, who have been appreciative of the spoons I have to offer, because I like my spoons, man. I like my spoons. I want to share them with you. I want to give you my spoons. That's why I continue to do these things, because I believe in the spoons that I have. But I've not always felt that my spoons are appreciated, you know? And I feel like that's really hard. It's really hard for me. I feel like it's really hard for everybody. If you put those spoons out there to somebody and they just chuck them on the ground, don't even put them in the spoon washer, then what are you doing? That doesn't feel good. And so I've stopped. I've stopped trying to get everyone to see my spoons. I've stopped trying to give my spoons as freely as I used to. And that's what I think I challenge you to do. Stop trying. Quit trying to get better all the time. Quit trying to constantly move forward. Quit trying to do that at the expense of your health and well-being. I tell my clients that I work with at the Y at the gym, when I'm helping them work out, we're trying to get stronger, we're trying to get better, right? But a lot of times those numbers, you're getting stronger, higher weights, more reps, all this kind of stuff. We want it to go straight up, but that's not the case. That's not what we actually do want. We want it to trend up, but also know sometimes it's not going to go up. There might be a dip. You might have got a shitty night's sleep. You might be going through something with your family. Your partner and you might be in a tiff. You might have just lost someone you love. You might have had the worst week you've ever had. And that's part of it. That's part of recognizing where your spoons are at. Last week, I had a really rough time sleeping. And unfortunately, I've had to back out of some client, or I've had to ask clients to reschedule. I've had to talk with my bosses at work about cutting down or adjusting my hours and that kind of stuff. And I'm so, so, so grateful that I have the opportunity to do that. I know not everyone does. And I'm still doing my best. And I'm allowing my best to change. Growing up, my mom would always say, do the most you can do, not the least you can do. And while that is an appropriate mindset sometimes, that immigrant mindset comes out and it can often harm us in ways that we're not aware of. Constantly trying to do the most that I can do, constantly trying to do everything you can do. I don't know if that's a good idea. In fact, I think it's not. But I do try to work. I do try to put my best foot forward. But I am stopping trying to constantly get better. If some days are a wash, some days are a wash. Some days you just get through the frickin' day. Some days you're just like a banana peel with legs. Oh. And that's it. And that's all you can do. Maybe you get to go to work, you have a couple good meals. Make sure to get meals. Hydrate. Do all those things that your body needs. Take care of your body. And that's why I love working in the field of health and fitness, because it is about listening to our body. I'll say it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. As a trainer, I tell my clients, you listen to your body and I listen to you. Okay? And if you're not being honest with me about that, then bad things can happen. And so I just try to make space for that in the people that I work with, in their lives, in my life. And I try to do that with myself. And I try to put my central nervous system at ease. Who do you feel safe around? Who makes you feel like yourself? One of my favorite pieces of advice to give to anybody about comedy is have experiences the day of a show with people who make you feel authentically like yourself. Because that's when you're going to be your best on stage. When you feel like you, when you're able to be you, when you're able to feel seen and heard and have that buddy, that friend, that chingu that you're laughing with all the time, that you just can just do nothing or do everything or do something, and you feel connected, you feel seen. That's a strong way to put yourself in a position for success. For a comedy show, like you'll have more fun. You'll be in a better space, and you'll know that even though everyone in that room is not holding that same space, that space is there for you somewhere. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to align myself with people like that put my central nervous system at ease, that allow me to exhale. I had a conversation with a friend of the show, Jessica Adele Lewinsky, this last weekend. It was the first we'd had in a while. And she's one of my closest friends in this world. And we're able to connect so deeply on so many levels. And I'm so grateful for her. And we don't live in the same country. And so we don't really speak as much. But she and her partner, they're on a trip. They're on a work trip in another part of their country. And we were able to have just a beautiful conversation. I was able to share my story, what I'm going through with her, with somebody who really cares and I feel seen with. And so that felt amazing for us to just connect and me hear what she's going through, offer some space for her, and she offers the same in return. That's what I want to work on. I'm trying to work on, I'm a giver. I want to give to givers. Giving for givers. Giving to givers. That is what it's all about, because I've also realized I haven't always been drawn to givers. I've been giving to takers for so long that it's taken its toll on me. And I'm really trying to adjust as I move forward. So my hope for you is that you quit trying. I hope you quit. I hope you stop trying so hard all the time, because that sucks. And then you feel like a zombie on stilts at the end of the day. But when you give to givers, or when you just allow yourself to be around other givers, I think things will start to work in your favor. And that's why I'm so grateful to have so many awesome people in my life. And a lot of my clients are givers. And we're able to connect and share in a lot of different ways. It's a two-way street. And I'd love to hear from people and how they deal with this stuff, how you deal with burnout. How do you deal with these people in your lives, these energy vampires, like on What We Do in the Shadows? Oh my gosh. Such a great, what's his name? Todd the Energy Vampire? Maybe it's not Todd. And I haven't watched What We Do in the Shadows for a while, but it's such a good show. And it's true, so many people are energy vampires. They feed off of your energy. They take it from you and they use it. And when it's done, it's crumpled up. They have your spoon and it's crumpled. And what are you going to do with that spoon? I'm trying to fix my spoon. I want my spoon to be back again. But sometimes by then it's too late. So I hope someone is in your life that you can share your spoons with openly, lovingly. And if you need to just keep all your spoons that day, then do it. Don't feel bad about it. Here's permission. Here is permission for you. If you know you need to take a break, please do. You have permission. You can take a freaking break, dog. You've earned it. You've been busting your freaking butt for months, for years. And you can chill out for a second because you deserve it. I hope you have people in your life that make you feel like yourself. I hope you have cats and dogs and animals and donkeys and llamas and alpacas that you can pet and ride into the sunset, baby, and have a great day with. And I thank you for hanging out today, even just for a little while. I'll see you next time. Thanks.
Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Not jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. With Rudy Tybersi.
Scratch. Here you go, Bubba. Is this going to fall? Is it all going to fall? It'll all fall sometime. There you go, my love.